today. Not today.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Ledge Podcast. This is the first episode of 2019. We are actually without one of our hosts today, so I'm Noah. I'll be filling in.
I'm Brody.
Ethan.
Mac in the house.
All right, let's get into it. Unfortunately, we got to talk about certain bowl games. Not really familiar with them. I don't know if I've heard of them before, but we're going to get into it.
We're going to talk about... Let's talk about chronological... We'll talk about Peach Bowl first, because it happened
Okay,
first.
Peach Bowl.
Peach Bowl. When did that... Was that?
I don't remember
so
watching.
basically, Michigan got completely dominated by a team that
Sucks.
they beat... Yeah, not sucks, but
They
a
don't
team that they
suck
beat
because they
a
kind of
lot
embarrassed
historically.
LSU.
But I heard a lot going into the game, like, oh, Florida's
Yeah.
easy win. We beat Florida every year, and then they kind of got physically, like, dominated. I guess I didn't watch any of the games, so I don't really know what happened to me. I was at the Michigan State basketball game.
Not a lot of people watched that game. It was disappointing.
So,
Honestly,
being honest, you two watched the game.
I watched the entire
most.
game.
I watched some of it.
Fourth quarter, I was not participating.
What would your breakdowns be? Because I don't want to be
Okay,
unfair.
so first quarter, I think they tried to come out with the same game plan they had against Penn State, that like read option and then just keep running the ball but no passes for the whole first drive.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to like make a statement with the body blows, which is an unfortunate way to try and play football in 2019, but that's still what we're doing. And they actually broke a long touchdown run, and it turned out
Michigan did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Christian Turner stepped out of bounds. One of his cleats, Marks, was out of bounds. So that got ruled back. And then after that, they had to punt.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, Florida did not score their first drive, I think. Field goal. So it's a pretty close first quarter, second quarter. Second half, honestly, third quarter, Florida opened it up and destroyed us. I think they kind of realized that with some of the athletes that we had sitting out, they could literally just out-athlete us. They didn't even have to scheme. We had certain gritty linebackers playing across the field, so they realized that and they exploited it well and kind of just dominated the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, some of our athleticism was trading for the draft. I felt like even before the game, we were just deflated. Like, Michigan was just totally deflated.
So
What
you're saying is they weren't motivated.
No.
And just like, I don't know, man. Like, it just didn't even feel like a good game at all.
Like what I was saying before the game, I think most fans are feeling the same way, win or lose, about that game. Like, you don't gain. Like, I don't think anyone gained
not making the
from
playoff
that.
was just like it just killed the season. Like, winning that Peach Bowl, I mean, it would have been nice to see Michigan beat a good team, but obviously that didn't happen.
I still think for people that say bowl games are like
I'm not one of the
stuff,
meaningless people crowd, but I think there was that statistic about teams that either lost a play-in game to their conference championship or lost the conference championship. Their record in bowl games, I think it's like less than a 20% win percentage.
Yeah.
So that kind of shows like how the playoff has completely changed the landscape of college football and kind of sucked out all like hope or motivation for teams to try and feel good about winning a bowl game.
Mm-hmm. I know. I see what you mean because, like the players,
like
that
Georgia, for example. I think we know they're a better team than they
Texas,
played like.
Yeah.
But I think
they for some reason thought they deserved to make the playoff.
Yeah.
Not sure why, but
yeah,
because they have two losses.
You
They're one of the best
Monroe
14.
in the Citadel enough times, and you should be in.
Because they lost 2 games. They are one of the best 4 teams. They should be in the playoff.
Do you think Florida? Do you think Florida is on the uprising then, to where they can get back to a level where they can be championship contenders?
Why not?
I wouldn't say championship contenders, but I think they can contend for their division now.
And do you think they could compete with Alabama?
Maybe.
No,
not yet,
not
but
yet.
maybe
But
in a
I
few
think
years.
I think they're ready to give Georgia a run.
Yeah. I agree.
I think they're very
Because
close.
I think Mullen's a good coach, and I think his recruiting, people have been skeptical about his recruiting at Mississippi State, but I think going to Florida kind of
Florida
enhances
changes that.
Because you could be the worst recruiter ever, but if you go to Alabama, I guess not Alabama.
Yeah, but if you go to a destination school,
then people are going to want to go there anyways because they're in school.
And I think that Nick Saban might have taught him like some special recruiting tactics at a certain point that he could start implementing. Not sure what those are, but he could start bringing those into place if he wants to really beat out Georgia, because you got to join.
Well, I think Georgia has some tactics too.
That's what I'm saying. You got to, if you can't beat them, join them.
Well, I mean, Mullen came from Mississippi, and Mississippi is well known for using some of those tactics.
Mississippi State.
I know, but the state of Mississippi.
Oh, so he had the.
He's been around those.
He didn't seem like he fell into such tactics before, though.
Yeah,
it's not known.
No, I don't.
Nobody actually knows.
I actually don't think Mullen. Did he ever coach with Saban? Mullen?
He was a Saban assistant.
Really?
Or no, he was an Urban assistant.
Okay.
That's basically the same.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
I don't think Mullen's. I think he would have got better recruits at Mississippi State though if he was to be paying players or cheating in any way.
That's what I was saying. It didn't seem like he'd fallen into it.
So maybe at Florida he gets.
He could start, but honestly, so far it doesn't seem like he has.
He did a good job in his first year.
Because I think Michigan has recruited. I think.
Yeah, it was his first year at Florida.
In the last 3 seasons, I think Michigan has 41 4- and 5-star recruits, and Florida only had 31, I believe, along with Clemson only had 31. So, I think going back to that Michigan game, I think it really showed how game day coaching is the biggest problem. Like, you can get all of these great players, but if you're just going to go back and abandon a game plan during a game just because you get hit in the mouth one time, you're not going to win big games. I'm sorry. You can't just out-athlete everybody.
Facts.
There's a certain point you can't just hit the panic button and start throwing desperation deep balls, which you never do. But that's the only time you do it is when you go down. Like, you have to have some sort of element of surprise. To have, 3 very good receivers and you're throwing the ball 37% of drives, that's completely unexplainable, and I don't understand it. There has to be a certain point you need to start scheming and making adjustments. You can't just play like you're Bama or Georgia and plan on being the better athletes, because that's not always going to work.
And everybody's fed up with it. Even the players, Tariq Black on Twitter has been saying some things, and you can tell
Shea Patterson's unhappy too.
Yeah, you can tell everybody, the fans, the players, they're fed up.
Well, that's how I felt about Michigan for a while. I think all these years where they've had great years. Well, not great, but
they're not great. They do enough.
They blow out Indiana and they dominate these teams because I think they have the talent over them. But then they get in a game for example, Ohio State. They don't have the talent to just overpower Ohio State.
Yeah.
Where the two last years where Michigan's had good teams, they beat Michigan State, but they haven't blown out Michigan State. It's been respectable games. The State's teams were good, and I think would it be fair to say that other than Ohio State and Penn State, Michigan State's probably the 3rd most talented team in the East?
Yeah.
Other than in Michigan, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Probably. I would say,
they're probably 3rd in the
talent,
Big Ten, to be honest. In terms of...
Maybe not this year, but...
Yeah, but... consistently over the years.
Wasn't that good, but I think they had some talent.
Yeah.
And Northwestern talented.
Northwestern's not.
I feel like in those matchups, other than Penn State, that's a really Penn State and Michigan's matchups those are weird to me. I don't get how they keep blowing each other out, but other than that, Michigan hasn't been able to beat a good team handily, I feel like. Or beat a good team where I can't really describe what I'm
overpower a talented team.
Yes, they haven't been able to come out against a good team and look cohesive and look. But every time they face Maryland, they face Rutgers, they face Indiana, they go out there and they blow them out. And they
don't have to do anything special. They can run the ball up the middle 30 times and out-athlete
once they
them.
play a talented team, they don't do anything
That's the
different.
big thing with the defense to me. Obviously, these are good players, but there's a certain point you're not putting them in a position to win by just planning on them winning every one-on-one battle.
Yeah.
There's a time where that's not going to happen, like it did against Florida. It did not happen, and we saw how that ended up. Happened against Ohio State. If you can't win every one-on-one battle, put your players in a position to make some kind of impact, because obviously it's not working.
And even I think the Florida game, I was checking the score a little bit. Not the Ohio State game for sure. The defense was for the first half was staying in it. They were keeping them in it. And it gets to the point where the offense has to... I can give another team, for example, like this. The offense needs to help them out. They can't just keep going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Because the defense is going to get tired. And
what I don't understand is Florida's rush defense is actually ranked 75th in the nation. They let FCS teams run all over them. Why can we not run on... I get Higdon sat out. I still think that we should have enough running backs.
Because that's more of an O-line thing sometimes, too.
Yeah. Which we know has been an issue for a long time at Michigan. And Bushel Beatty sitting out for absolutely zero reason whatsoever.
I think
Is he a senior?
I think
Yes,
he was
and
injured.
he's not going
and he was
pro.
just kind of like.
Well, I think
listing
he
out.
might have lost his starting spot, which was pretty poor considering Stuber's atrocious.
I think he was injured.
I think he was one of.
I don't think he made.
Stuber was actually, I think, in the bottom 3 ranked tackles in bowl season by Pro Football Focus. He's that bad. So,
Yeah.
So now that we're on this topic, kind of like the offense, kind of letting a team down.
Let's
get
get into
into
Michigan
the
State.
Red Box Bowl.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the
So-
whatever bowl game.
Oregon and Michigan State. I watched the full game. I don't know if any of you guys did. Unfortunately, I watched
I
the full
did.
game.
I watched
Some of it.
I just don't understand. I won't understand how you have probably 33 days between their last game and this game, around that probably.
Yeah.
You have that much time, and you're an offensive coordinator. Gets paid probably pretty good amount. What would you say, near $1 million probably? At a Big Ten
I
school?
don't know.
Maybe a little
I know
under?
Pep Hamilton's making over $1 million. He's not even
Well,
a
he was.
coordinator.
That
but
just
that's
depends who you are,
different.
though. It depends.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
how
guess.
much you make.
So he's
Dave
probably-
Warner's probably making $800,000 to
Yeah.
$1 million.
He's making $800,000 to be a coordinator, an offensive coordinator.
And he calls
At Big-
plays.
And you can't muster one touchdown against Oregon's defense.
A
Not
Pac-12
only that.
defense.
That's not a good Pac-12 defense
Game
either.
before that, too.
Yeah, Rutgers. But I'm saying he had a full month too to prepare for
I
this,
know.
and he couldn't muster a single touchdown.
Okay, but to be fair to him, Rutgers is a very good defensive team, as he said.
See, and my worry is, like I said in the group chat yesterday, somebody will lose their job at Alabama for one game, one performance. But Dave Warner has been sabotaging this offense for the past 3 seasons, and he will be calling plays on, I think it's August 30th
Against Tulsa.
Yep.
Oh, we'll lose that.
No,
right,
we'll win
let's-
14-10.
Probably, but I honestly think that kind of goes back to a culture thing. I think Michigan State's culture is built on loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't think
I
they're
see
going
what
to
you mean.
abandon a guy like
That's
that.
exactly what it is.
And if he wants,
I'm all for it, but like, come on.
if D'Antonio loves the guy and they're best friends and he wants him to stay on the staff, fine. Please just get someone else to call plays or call plays yourself.
Or hire a
I
co-offensive
didn't know-
coordinator.
I didn't know
Yeah.
Like-
Let Warner be like the
Or
backup.
I'd rather
O-line
Dave
demote
Antonio
him
than
to
Dave
like a
Warner.
quarterback's coach
Yeah,
or something.
let him be like the
I'd rather be
backup O-line
conservative than
coach.
think you're slick running a jet sweep to the short side of the field. I feel like Dave Warner draws these plays up thinking like, oh, this one will get him.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
wouldn't
like,
even
no,
call
it
it
won't,
conservative
dude.
play calling. It's
No,
like
Dave
bad
Warner's
high
not
school
conservative.
play calling.
Yeah,
I'd-
Dave Warner's not conservative.
I'd rather.
He is, but
He's
like,
not conservative,
Do
just
you know-
stupid.
It's like trying to be conservative, but like,
I would rather just run up the middle 2 times, hopefully get 4 yards, and then throw a short pass.
Yeah,
I'd
just
rather that
run the-
every
just
single
run the
time.
Michigan offense.
Actually, this
I'd
is one
rather
of
that.
Michigan's
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah.
Because
I would
especially
gladly.
in that game against Oregon, like
That-
that's what you got to run.
Yeah, we-
Because
Like,
you have a bigger team than Oregon. The
Yeah.
Big Ten has bigger players than the Pac-12. Like, Pac-12's quicker, probably
Yeah.
more athletic, but the Big Ten can overpower the Pac-12 in most cases.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that they shouldn't have just kept running Scott. Scott was playing good.
Yeah, he
no,
actually.
he's trying
Yeah.
to show up for the draft.
But they abandoned it, and I think Warner, as soon as they scored the touchdown, it was, hit the panic button.
I just
and the
don't
work
know
he threw it
why.
40 times.
Why would you put the game in the hands of someone who's been struggling
Yeah.
all year?
And quote-unquote injured or whatever. I don't know if he's injured
Yeah,
anymore. but
in the bowl game, I heard that was his first game playing fully healthy.
Yeah.
But either way, why put the game in his hands? When
He hasn't
LG
played in 2 months,
Scott
probably.
is- not
Yeah.
only that, but LG Scott was actually playing well.
Yeah. Like the game plan they had
that-
against Ohio State in 2015 when they went into Columbus and won, that should have been the game plan the rest of the season once they realized the Workie's not what he was last year. Which was just run the ball, and if you need to make a pass, make a pass.
yeah,
But just try to overpower with the run.
they should have signed Kaepernick for that game. There are plenty of quarterbacks available.
But I have another take, too, about that game. Herbert, I don't think Herbert's anything special. Everyone's drooling over him in the NFL. I don't think he played very
He's
well.
another Josh
Jalen
Allen.
Haskins.
Yeah,
He's the best
because he
player.
played
He's-
one good defense, and look what happened.
Yeah, he's a large, high football
They
IQ
think he can
player
throw
with
the
a
ball, yeah.
rocket arm, just like
Josh
every
Allen's
other.
good,
But they don't care if he can hit a target. Josh Allen's good. He
Yes.
went 5-11, and his stats weren't even good.
Push the Bills.
I mean, he didn't play that
Do
good.
you understand who Stafford played for and
Yeah.
still put up numbers?
Seven sucks.
Oh, how can you say Stafford sucks and Josh
Come on,
Allen's
dude.
good?
All right, we're not going to
We're
get into
getting-
that
yeah, we're
yet.
getting off
That's
topic,
for
but-
We're
later.
gonna get
Yeah.
to the Nuffle in a few minutes.
All right.
But I guess I think if Michigan State is able to get like a top, let's say they had the 75th offense next year and roughly the same defense, I think they could win 10 games and compete for the Big Ten East. I don't think that's out of reach.
What was their offense, like 300th?
111th or something out of 128.
I think maybe
In the Big Ten.
50th offense. 75th.
If they can get 21 points per game, I'm confident that they could win 10 games next year.
It's like the same defense.
Yeah.
Minus
Well, yeah,
like-
because Nebraska only scored.
They lost to
9
Nebraska
games.
9-6. They
Rutgers
beat
only
Rutgers
scored-
14-10.
So that's 2 right there. That's easy.
They
That's
gave
one more.
the defense gave up Ohio State two touchdowns, so 14 points to Ohio State. The offense gave up a safety on purpose. They gave up a touchdown. They fumbled in the end zone, and they also fumbled on their own 15-yard line, giving up a field.
Well, let's just think about like the easy wins that you could like Nebraska. That's one
Yep.
more win, and then you guys had 5
Arizona
losses.
State. They
Arizona
scored 14
State.
against
Arizona
Arizona
State
State.
should've won. They should've won that one.
You
Yeah.
guys could have won that one. So
How many
like,
did Northwestern
just like
score like 26 or 28?
29-19, and one of them
so
was complete.
you guys had a lot of
garbage
close losses. Just
time. Yeah.
75th. That's a couple
Honestly,
more wins.
that's
That's 9-3.
sort of
That's-
like
At least
It reminds me a
9-3.
bit of
Yeah.
The
20
Ohio State game's probably a toss-up.
like
with the better offense.
2017 Michigan. We had so many games that would like remain close for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter we just end up losing by
yeah,
double.
what you
digits
guys
'cause
are
our
talking
defense
about
can't hold
reminds
up.
me of last year.
I
Just
feel
like
like
how
exactly like
frustrating.
they
that
almost
is.
flipped Michigan
Yeah.
State.
But
This-
I'm not gonna go as far as to compare either your quarterbacks
Yeah,
to John O'Korn,
yeah.
but the
It's
rest
It's
of
just
it.
the
'Cause that's
feel of the
just unfair.
season. The feel of the season was just the same.
Yeah.
Like
the frustration with the
feeling
offense.
that you had the ability to win, but not
Yeah.
being able to. Yeah.
And the defense just looking out there like, bro, come on,
Yeah.
help us out.
In
Can
the
you
locker
give me
room
some-
at
Yeah.
halftime.
If I was on the defense, I'd be unbelievably frustrated. But, anyways, that's something we'll touch on later when
Maybe we get, or
in the off. Maybe later in the spring we'll talk about this after spring games and stuff. But this will probably be our last college football debate for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
LSU was a number 68 offense this year.
Exactly. So if they have an offense like that and the defense they have, they probably win at least 9 games.
Yeah. And I'm going to say one thing because you said this our last college football talk. I'm going to continue seeing all these rumors in the offseason about Harbaugh and an offensive coordinator and plans to open up the offense. I'm going to tell you guys right now, you can come back to it later. It's not happening.
Oh, I feel the same way. There's
Yeah,
no way
it's-
Dave Warner's gone.
No,
He's
Pep
not-
Hamilton is going to leave, but he's going to hire some other assistant.
the
He's
inside.
never going to give anyone full control of the offense, and that's how he is. And it also won't be opening up. We might see more zone reads and RPOs, but we're not going to be throwing the ball 40
Yeah.
times a game. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to say that now so
Yeah.
everyone knows.
So we're somewhat we're in the same boat almost. The offense we both want our offense to change and we know it won't.
Yeah.
I want some defensive change too, but I don't think it needs to be as dramatic as the offensive change.
well, you know, it's okay because we're both basketball schools now.
It's
Yeah.
basketball season now.
Segue
But
into basketball.
Actually, let's touch on, since I was wrong, we're going to talk about one more thing for college football.
Oh, we gotta
the
talk about the
playoffs.
natty. We gotta talk about
The
the natty.
playoff in general.
there wasn't much to talk about in the.
Natty, so
Yeah, the Natty,
Clemson
complete
won.
domination.
they're big.
I
Yeah,
thought
they're
Clemson was
huge.
going to win. I didn't think it'd be like that, but
I don't know how Clemson won considering they weren't running the ball up the middle on 2nd and 10 and throwing tight end screen passes.
They're-
But
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Yeah.
aggressive offensive play
The fact
calling
that
was,
they
but I
weren't
don't
running
like
a
it.
draw on 3rd and 20.
I guess
Yeah, are you not prepared
About-
to just punt the ball and trust your defense?
about
Like, come on.
The
the
defense is cold too.
the playoff, I think people put. I don't like the new playoff system. I
Go
don't
back
like
to
it.
2.
Yeah, I don't
I
even.
want a
I'm not even
BCS
saying
championship
that.
game.
I don't like the committee either, because
Human error.
yeah,
is-
there's
Yeah.
just too much. I'm not. I don't know. The fact that Georgia was even considered, that's stupid.
And Ohio State had no
Oh,
chance.
Ohio State had no chance what Georgia did because one game.
Like
Yeah, because they can
One
lose
game?
closely.
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly.
I don't like putting them at
It's-
states literally show.
And
they don't
people
do that
questioning
care
if
about
Notre
it.
Dame deserved to be in. Like, are you joking? They won every football game they played in this year. Like,
And it's not like they played awful
Yeah.
teams. Like they played.
they scheduled good teams. That those teams just didn't turn out to be
Yeah,
good.
didn't
Yeah,
show
it's
up
not their
as they're
fault.
supposed to. They play Stanford every year.
Yeah,
But I think it's one of those things that just feeds into a narrative from the past. Like a lot of things that happened to Michigan, I think it's kind of similar. Like they've embarrassed themselves on certain stages enough times. to where when it happens again, it's like, oh, well, everybody knew that was going to happen. That's happened to Notre Dame. I think I saw a stat in their last, 6 BCS bowl games, they've been outscored by over 100 points.
Yeah.
It's a pattern that Notre Dame doesn't show up for big games.
Also, I think it's I personally, I don't know if you guys agree, I think there's a Midwest bias. I think if you're not Ohio State, they're going to paint you as they don't have athletes, they're not athletic, they can't run with them. They're just because the SEC teams are all big and powerful and the fastest humans alive. And
yeah, they're all Olympic athletes and far superior to everybody else.
And I think no matter who it is, you could have an entire 5-star lineup, but if you're from north of Kentucky, you're non-athletic and you can't run, and
you're just really gritty.
Unless you're Ohio State. Ohio State's the only team that they will
respect.
they won't talk
Kirk's
about
on their staff.
Yeah, well, and Ohio State kind of deserves.
Yeah, but
they kind of play. Ohio State's the only team in the north that plays.
They're an SEC team of the north.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand what their fans complain about, SEC culture and their recruiting and all the things they do. They are. They're basically an SEC school as well. I don't understand
just with
that.
less morals.
Oh, and unfortunately, Ryan Day's made more positive offseason moves in his 9 days on the job than Jim Harbaugh has in 4 years now. So I just like to put that on the record.
Yeah.
Really
I don't really want to get into that whole Madison thing.
I don't really care about that.
That's not that deep.
The guy has not been a defensive coordinator since Brady Hoke days, and he was only a D-line coach. That's why I have no idea why they would hire him as a coordinator. It's not like he was that great.
Well, I don't know.
That's another thing,
he might not actually be the coordinator.
I kind of hope he is, but I don't think he will.
Look at these elite programs. They make changes. Shiano's gone. Shiano's was a good coach for a really long time.
Yeah.
He had a bad year and he's gone.
As soon as you mess up, you're gone.
We're Michigan.
Pep Hamilton will be there
exactly
as long as he wants
loyal
to because
Pep
they're
Hamilton,
friends.
and that's how D'Antonio is to Warner. If you want to stay at the top or stay at a high level, you need to.
Yeah, you can't play loyalty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Same with people say that coaches lying to players and stuff that might impact their image negatively. That's just something that happens at the highest level of football. You're going to get lied to. You can't believe everything you hear from coaches. You just have to try your hardest.
That's a part of the game in recruiting.
Yeah.
If you're talking about I'll be here.
Yeah, are they going to tell you you're never going to get off the bench? No, they're
exactly.
not.
They're going to tell you what you want to hear because they want you on their team. But now that we've kind of had, are we putting to rest the college football debate?
Well,
Or does anyone want to put one
I
more
have
thing
one
in?
more thing.
Okay.
This is kind of crazy. I was talking about it before we started the podcast about the playoff system. This is I don't think anybody's going to support this, but what if we had a variable playoff system where depending on how well the teams did, the number of teams that have a chance to win the national championship change each year?
See, I feel like that's not bad, but I feel like there needs to be a qualifier set for it. It needs to be the same qualification every year.
I don't think it would work just because of scheduling and stuff.
Yeah.
Logistically, it probably wouldn't work, but it was just an idea, a concept.
I see what you're saying, but do you know what I mean with the qual? Because what if somebody had one loss the year before or got snubbed for because they didn't feel that they were ready they were good enough that year?
It's just,
then the
and
next year someone has the same record.
Well, let's say this year
Yeah.
3 teams went undefeated, and then it sounds stupid to have a 3-team playoff, but think about it, only those 3 teams
need to go to undefeated.
Let's say
no,
3
it depends
teams
on
go
the year,
undefeated.
what other teams have done.
Let's say only 1 team goes undefeated, not UCF. See, that's why it seems kind of it wouldn't work. But
in the fantasy world, it does sound pretty good.
Yeah,
I can't lie. It does, because then you don't have the stupid this team didn't deserve debate, that team didn't deserve debate, or this team should have been in debate, that team should have been in. It's just it makes it simpler.
If everybody's in, it's way easier.
But really, now that I think about it, the team that gets left out, the first team to get left out, they're always going to say, "Well, we deserve to be in."
Yeah.
When are they not going to say that?
It should have been, but by that rule, it should have been 8 teams this year.
But then the 9th team would have been
I know, but it should have been 8 teams.
The thing is,
eventually, Iowa State's going to be upset that they got snubbed from the 2014 playoff.
Exactly.
We all know that this system will not change until Alabama misses the playoffs.
Oh, for sure. Because when they
that
miss
will
it,
be the year it changes.
When they lose 5 games.
Yeah, they'll have to lose
Then
5.
they'll be arguing about the.
How they were all good
Yeah,
5.
the Big Ten doesn't know the grind of an SEC schedule, so we should be in every year.
Even though it's harder, probably.
Yeah.
Big Ten usually has a harder. This year the SEC was
Harder schedule, usually on the road.
very good conference this year.
Yeah.
SEC, very good conference.
And Big Ten actually leaves their home state
Yeah.
to play a football game, unlike certain conferences.
Also, a tip to a few coaches that are coaching their team. 3 things I've realized if you want to win the national championship. You have to be the lower ranked team. The higher team always loses. You can't wear blue, and you have to be Nike. 3 things you need to do to win a championship. Because it's never happened in the playoff era.
Well, I'm sure they'll take note, Austin.
So, Michigan, get rid of Jordan. Stop, wear only white for your playoff games. If
I've
you ever
never
make the
seen
playoff.
Michigan play a good game in the white uniforms. Actually, one time, and that was this year.
Against Sioux State.
Yeah, it's the only good game I've
Nah,
ever seen. them
go
play
in as the
white.
4 seed, and then we'll be all right.
All right.
All right, time for a real sport.
Yeah, real college sport. I think it's time to talk about some college basketball.
Both insane teams.
Yes, both top 5 teams.
Very
Yes.
hot teams right now.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the game.
I am too.
I don't care. Like,
So-
I care if we. I want us to win, but like they're both so good. Like,
Do you know it'd be crazy? What if they both go undefeated through Big Ten play and beat each other once and tie for the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think that's an entirely possible thing.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to go
Yeah.
undefeated.
Undefeated,
other
I,
than-
that's
I think
Yeah.
it can
That's
happen
tough.
because Michigan has that favorable schedule that Michigan State had last year that I kind of
Yeah.
was talking negatively of. We have, like, it rotated. We have that this
you
year.
guys want to play a road game?
But the only team that
Yeah.
Like once.
We actually play Michigan State twice, though.
yeah, that's the yeah.
But
Yeah.
we only have Ohio
It's just
State
like,
once, Purdue
every time I
once.
turn them out, it's like always home.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Duke. These boys have not played.
Only a neutral
I just
site game.
I can't understand how that even happens. How is that allowed?
I don't know. Alabama does that every
They
year.
played-
Nobody says anything.
No, they've been playing for 3 months, and they
It's
haven't
not
played at
one-
one road game. Not one.
That's actually
Not a
insane.
single road game.
Probably because ESPN.
and
wants
actually,
going to do it.
never mind. They have since the
They're paying
ACC
their
conference
teams.
is
Probably.
Don't they have Wake Forest on the
Yeah,
road coming
hold
up?
on.
Oh, tough game.
yeah the
Is that
Demon
today?
Deacons on the road.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's going to be a
The
battle.
mighty
Yeah,
ACC.
I know Michigan has some good wins, but could they go in to the Demon Deacon Center on a cold Saturday in January? I don't think they could.
So before we start getting on to slandering the ACC as we do the SEC in football, let's just both Michigan and Michigan State are coming off a pretty good win. Probably their best.
Probably second.
Second
Second
half
best,
was,
yeah.
Second half was not that great, but
This is probably Michigan State's best win, I'd say. At Ohio State.
Michigan
yeah.
State.
Yeah, that's
That was
definitely
really
great.
good.
Ohio State's good.
Great
Ohio State's good.
Yeah, with certain individuals in the building that we wouldn't like to talk about.
Remember, we put the college football.
Yeah, we put it behind us.
Yeah.
Which I can't
I don't
leave
wanna
it
talk
behind.
about it.
Sorry.
I don't want to
So
talk about it.
first, we can talk about Michigan State and Ohio State. Somebody was pretty angry after the first half of that
Yeah,
game.
I don't know why.
And my whole take is this: I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid as I do every year with Michigan State basketball because they look good every year in the regular season, and I'm so used to them being good in the tournament too because my whole life they've been dominant in the tournament other than the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So, but now it's starting to get into my head. Every single game that they play on the road where it's a competent team, like not Rutgers, because Rutgers Rutgers kept it a little bit like within 10.
Rutgers isn't bad.
Yeah, but not.
Not whole other bad.
I'm sick of every time Michigan State goes out to play a road game, they cannot just look cohesive, look organized, look motivated in the first half. I don't understand that. It's almost like they need Izzo to scream at them at halftime for them to get back in the game. Because every single time they go down in the first half and just look terrible, and then the second half they come out and they come back. But do you know what will happen?
There's a certain time you won't be able
they
to
will
come back.
They will go to Ann Arbor. They will play bad in the first half. If they play bad, I'm not saying they will, but if they play bad in the first half, Michigan will be up by 20 at half, and there will be no coming back. Or in the second round of the tournament, they'll face a team that's shooting hot. They will not be able to come back.
I think this team's different this year than the past teams.
It's
I need a little- I need
it's
more
different
sample size.
every
They
year though.
They have like their chemistry in this team. I feel like it's so
I
much
think
stronger.
getting rid of 2 stars actually helps.
Yeah,
Helps
the
a lot.
because I
team
think they
learn
relied
to play together.
They relied too much on Bridges to score, and they relied too much on Jackson to clean up all the defense last
Like,
year.
That's why it was better for them to leave. I thought it made the team better.
Yeah,
Also, so
it helped Ward, Winston, and Langford for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause it's not always running through them, and
I
they'll
think
just like take their opportunities all the time.
I think tonight, even though it's at the Breslin, I think tonight will be a decent
What do
test.
they have?
Yeah,
Purdue.
Oh yeah,
That'll be
Purdue can score, but I'm not too worried about them.
no,
Islam's back
Michigan
tonight, though.
beat
Yeah.
them by a lot.
Purdue's got like
Islam's back
a
tonight,
cold
Yeah.
YMCA player though. I think it's like number 12. The dude's
Oh,
fine.
he's bald.
But Klein,
Yeah.
But
Wait,
The YMCA hooper for Purdue.
Oh, yeah.
I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah,
He's
But,
ice.
There's a guy from Wichita State a couple years ago.
I think Michigan State. I think they only have like, I guess at Bloomington will be hard, and at Nebraska and at Michigan.
Oh, Indiana's always
But
tough.
I want to see them play on the road and just come out in the first half and look like the better team because usually they are the better team. Let's keep it real. Like
Every time they played, they're obviously a better team.
yes, other than the Kansas.
But Ohio
maybe,
State
but-
was not that bad.
Yes, but that's no excuse. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It's no excuse to come out in the first half and just look bad. Can you just come out and look
I
good?
completely
I don't-
understand what you're saying. I've
Yeah.
been watching Michigan football my whole life.
I
They
don't-
do it every time.
I don't need you to be up by 10 at half. I don't need you to be up by 5 at half.
I
I don't
need
need
you to look
you
like
be
you're
leading at half.
trying.
I want you to go out there
the
and
effort was lacking. The
make
effort was
plays
lacking.
and just look better. So that's my whole spiel on Michigan State basketball. I think they could beat anyone probably in college basketball if they
Yeah.
really had their best game.
If it's their best game, they can beat Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking.
They don't really match up that well.
Yeah, they
If
don't.
Michigan State played Duke 5 times, how many times do you think Michigan State would win?
Twice.
I'd say 2.
To home and homes and like maybe one neutral court.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
2
two
home,
homes.
I think-
or all neutral, just all neutral to play
All
5
Like
Five
all in
times.
the
Maybe
national
maybe
championship
one or two.
environment.
I'd
Maybe
say-
one
I
or
think
two.
I
I'd say
think both
between one
Michigan
and
and
two.
Michigan
Yeah.
State would win like once.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they can match up, but I feel like they're.
It's almost
not
like
as talented
I think
as-
that's what I'm saying. They'd out talent them. I
Because
think.
I feel like Aaron Henry's a good enough defender where he could lock somebody up. Or
Yeah,
Josh
I don't know if
Langford.
you could lock someone.
Well,
up,
but I mean, like you
yeah.
can contain that.
Because you could put Langford
You
on.
can't stop them.
Langford on Barrett. I don't know who guards Zion. I guess Goins is a pretty good defender. I know you hate him, but he wouldn't stop Zion. But
No one can stop Zion.
yeah,
You can contain him. You can't stop him.
are we praising Zion on the podcast?
I don't
I
think so.
will not be.
I'm just saying,
I'll
against
let it
us-
happen, like go off, but I'm not participating.
Zion's been on
He's
the
still
diet
fat,
though.
but,
He's been
like-
getting a little healthier.
He's still fat, but
I'm still
Yeah.
concerned about his health, but he's been playing
It's just-
some okay basketball lately, I
What-
guess.
He's been showcasing some potential. And one more thing. This is my last thing about Michigan State basketball. Now I'll let you guys talk about the Indiana game. And I can touch on that too because I watched that whole game. But Cassius Winston needs to show up in the first half. That is the biggest piece. Did you see what happened in the second half after Izzo called him out?
Oh,
He
yeah.
came in and scored like 9 straight points and brought him back.
I mean, he's.
If Cassius Winston...
And Langford was out too. It's not like
Yeah,
you can't.
but if Cassius Winston plays his best game, they can beat anyone.
all of them play the best game to be anyone.
Yeah.
Of
All
course.
three. If all three. of them,
Yeah.
No, really.
I-
If we all play our best basketball, we're most likely.
Well, I
If
mean,
you
but-
score,
He's saying like
teams are just like-
they have the talent to.
you know,
He's saying.
here's what my opinion. If you score more points than the other team, you're gonna
probably
win.
You will
100%.
not lose.
100% of the time, you're gonna win.
But like I'm saying, like if we ever play Duke, Ward, Langford, and Winston all have
To
their
have
best
good
game.
games. Yes.
Yes, and everybody has to play their.
I think Ward would match up well against Duke too. They don't have a big guy like that that can guard him.
I feel like he's not as athletically sound.
But he is
No.
better
Tillman may
footwork.
match up better.
I think both of
Tillman's
them-
He has
more-
more athleticism.
Tillman's more of an athlete than Ward is. He's
Oh,
just
for
not
sure.
as like.
He doesn't
Also
have the
has the
offensive
offensive-
capability yet.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't
he's
have the
an
offensive
athlete.
footwork and all. He might get there one day too.
Yeah.
But
He can, for sure. Sophomore.
Cassius Winston is the
The X
Well, obvious-
factor, would you say? Like,
Cassius-
either it's
he's
it
not even
lies
really the
on
X-
him,
Cassius Winston's just the most important player.
I
on
think
the
he's
or
team.
is he
most valuable
completely
player in the
intangible? Like, it's he plays well, they win. He plays bad, they lose. Like that? Or are you
No, I
saying?
feel like they can win without him playing.
He's the
good.
key to success.
But somebody else needs to have a game.
Yeah.
Somebody
well,
needs to
that
make up
happens
for
with
that.
every team. Like if someone has a bad game, someone else step up.
Like, speaking of stepping up, I think a concern that Austin and I would guess we're both been having about Michigan's kind of a lack of depth. Right now, we're
Yeah.
without Isaiah
Yeah,
Livers.
without
and
Livers, that's
Brandon
tough.
Johns
I've been
has
saying this.
finally stepped
That's the
up
only reason I don't
and
consider that
yeah.
as
filled in his role. But I think if he can continue, like he showed some good flashes. I think if he can kind of get like this when Jordan Poole started coming on last year is about this January time he started getting good. I think if he can get into the lineup for more regular minutes.
Poole?
No,
Johns.
Brandon Johns.
Oh.
But this is the I'm saying this is the time last year.
Yeah,
where
yeah, I see what you're
fans
saying.
saw Jordan Poole kind of start coming out. I think if he could have his career could go on a similar trajectory at Michigan. I think he could be a huge part come March. to help them stay in games because he's a lot more athletic big guy than obviously John Teskey, who he's a pretty good player, but he's not an athletic freak by any means, and I don't think he could hang with like any elite big man.
Liver's out.
It's not.
It's just kind of day to day.
Protocol. It's like whatever.
So kind of like Langford.
He could probably be back.
Rumors about like weeks, but I'm guessing maybe 2 more games.
I think he might be back next game.
Yeah, he has back spasms, so it's just day to day.
Yeah, I think once Brandon Johns and a lot of the younger guys like learn the system and figure out how to play the defense right, they have the talent. So
I don't know if we'll be seeing a lot of the younger guys. Quite honestly, I think
you might not, but you don't want them.
I don't like
seeing
them
all brick shots and not get back on defense in garbage time. Like that just kind of annoys me. But
yeah, that's probably the reason Brandon Johns looked good. That was his first real opportunity he'd gotten. Every other time he'd gotten in the game, it was like 10 seconds. Then the other team calls a timeout or there's a foul, and he'd immediately come out. So that was his first real chance to play in important time.
I'm gonna. Oh, good.
I'm good. That's all I was okay. Just play pretty good.
I'm gonna toot my own horn here because I said a few weeks ago Michigan's depth might be the downfall of them, because I just think honestly I don't think they have the talent they had last year. They scare me less this year than they did last year, and I think Beeline's just such a great coach that he's gonna be able to work with it.
He's a very good coach.
Yeah, but I think their depth is far inferior to a lot of the other elite teams.
You know what?
I wouldn't 100%. I guess what I have to say about that is most good teams are probably only going maybe 7 to 8 deep, but they're doing it with a lot better players, I think, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
But right now, my biggest concern with Michigan, if they have the depth figured out, is free throws. It should not be this hard, and it's every single year we say the same thing. Why are you missing free throws? I don't understand.
I think in terms of talent, we don't have Wagner, obviously. That hurts us a lot, and Robinson was a great shooter. But here's the thing, though. Muhammad Ali was good.
He's very replaceable.
I think, Poole is better than him.
That's a senior.
Poole now is better than he was last year, and we have Iggy, and Charles Matthews has gotten better. I think a lot of those guys.
You think Matthews better than this year than he was last year?
Yeah.
Really?
He didn't get good last year till the tournament, quite honestly.
Here's what I think. Even though we don't have Wagner, and we aren't as consistent of it, like, we don't have, like, the just lights-out shooters, even though Poole's pretty good, I think that our defense and everything else is picked up that, we're pretty similar in terms of talent. It's kind of evened out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Beeline's worked with what he has very well. But I just think, coming from a fan of another team, I'm less worried to play them this year than I was last year. Going into the game, I was like, because I just thought their scoring was just overwhelming. We're a defense. Being honest, we all know a defensive team is less intimidating than a team that can just shoot the lights out.
Then we also know, because I've seen teams that can shoot the lights out for years, and I've seen them lose stupid games because they couldn't shoot. So that's why I kind of like that they've made this turn. Because I think they're less likely to lose certain games. Yeah, we've had a bunch of games this year we've shot terribly, and we could still win just because the other team can only score 45 points.
Because sometimes your shot isn't going to fall in, but your defense is kind of like
it's
part
always
of you.
Like
you can't just not have defense.
But then you might also have a game like the Virginia's had the last 5 years in the tournament where they come out, they play good defense, but the other team's just making their shots. They're making tough shots, and if you don't have the scoring to keep up with them, then
it's hard to win with no scoring. But I think I would rather side on having a good defense and not living or dying by the three. Because like I've said, I've seen that my whole life. That's what Michigan has always done, and I think, unlike other coaches, we've made changes based on past failures to prevent
other coaches in the city of Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, other highly paid coaches in the Ann Arbor area.
Rhymes with Bim Barbaugh.
Yeah, he allowed someone who knows more about a side of the ball to take over and control that for him. But, I don't think other coaches would do the same.
Not naming names, but some in particular.
All right,
you guys want to get into...
real quick. Everyone's going to go around. Top 5 basketball teams right now. College basketball. Doesn't have to be in order.
All right. Michigan, Duke, Tennessee, Michigan State.
know what the
Did
last
Gonzaga lose?
Yes, they lost to Tennessee and North Carolina. I'm gonna have that five that you just listed right there.
Yeah, I would say Gonzaga.
Yeah, I'm just.
That's literally my same
I'm gonna
thing.
go
I have to
Duke.
look at it.
It's hard. Virginia.
Maybe actually, I'd say Virginia instead of Gonzaga.
I just
Yeah,
I can't.
I
believe
I just
think-
can't like it.
Yeah.
They're undefeated.
Duke,
I'm gonna give them the
Virginia,
benefit of the doubt.
Kansas.
No.
Duh.
No.
Yeah. Why are you hating on me for that? Kansas.
They got blown
Michigan.
out by Iowa State.
And they should have lost to Michigan State.
I don't know. This isn't easy to do off the
Yeah.
top of my head.
I'm gonna look at.
I'll just say Michigan State, I guess.
I always don't want to say Michigan
Yeah,
State.
just saying it, not really wanting to. I didn't want to say Michigan either, but I guess I have to.
Michigan's definitely top.
Yeah.
So should we get into a little bit of NFL in the draft before we wrap it up? So we're at 40 minutes.
We can if we want, yeah.
Okay, so the
NFL,
Lions
2
cannot tank properly. Like, I'm
Yeah.
happy with a win over Green Bay just because I hate them, but
No, bro.
I don't
At
know
the
who
same
the
time,
Lions
why?
are. I don't know who the Lions are.
why? Why'd you
Why
do
win
it?
that? Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like Green Bay was also just
Tanking?
tanking,
Yes,
and they
but-
did it better than we could. So they really won here. Like, the scoreboard says we did, but they really won here.
It's just I've never seen a franchise fail in so many ways so often.
Yeah,
Like when they need to win, they lose. When they need to lose, they win. It's just they find a way to mess everything up, I feel like, and it just I don't have any words for it anymore.
yeah. We do not take an elite defensive talent,
I
like
need
a defensive,
end.
like a pass rusher.
Yeah.
Then
I saw a mock draft that said Florida's the end, the
Ja'Kai Polite. He's
Yeah,
very good.
I'd be up
Not
for
that I would know from first-hand experience, but he's very good.
I've heard from sources.
Yeah.
I've
yesterday-
heard that he went nuts on some other team.
Yeah, on some Big Ten team that I have no knowledge of. But and yesterday Dwayne Haskins finally declared, but we
Yeah.
kind of all knew that was
He's the
coming
number one.
And
when we
nobody-
saw
Please don't go to the
Justin
Giants.
Fields.
Please don't
Nobody
go to the
really
Giants. Please
cares.
don't go to the Giants.
They'll be insane.
Yeah, I just don't want that to happen. I hate the Giants.
How do you hate the Giants?
They're just annoying. I don't know.
Oh.
I want to go to the Jaguars. That'd be a big
There's
move.
You
six.
should go to the Browns.
There's 6 more Big Ten teams that are in the top 25 right now. They're getting votes.
Big Ten is the
There's
best
4
conference.
in right now.
In basketball, yes, we
Yes.
are.
It's 10.
All right,
teams.
and you know
Other
who's
get
stories
in.
we are.
Big Ten's the best conference, but you know the worst commentator is?
Dan Dockich.
All right, thank you
Yeah.
guys. Thanks for listening.
Lions
See you
are
next
Super
time.
Bowl champions.